What is time? What is anything? Oh my God, we're live and we don't even know it. Hello, good morning. Welcome to the Daily Whatever Show. I'm Lawrence Winterman.
I am Dana Dubois. We don't know anything this morning. So,
I
welcome to the
very
Daily Whatever
literally.
Show. I feel like I'm constantly crooked, but I think I may just have to be slightly
um,
off if I am.
Metaphor. Is that a metaphor?
Yeah, it's a literal and a metaphor, I think, Lawrence. How are you today?
I am fine. I have a very happy cat in my lap,
Good.
and we're here. And the sun apparently rose this morning. I don't know. I haven't actually gone outside to check. I'm assuming that the Strait of Hormuz is either open or closed or existing in some Schrödinger
Yeah.
state of both at the same time. Who can tell? The
Yeah.
economy is doing well or not doing well, depending on what Donald Trump thinks about the American people, which is apparently nothing. He cares nothing for us, as he
Yes.
admitted in an interview yesterday,
I,
which
I saw
is
that. I saw that. I don't
a
care at all.
heartbreak. I thought deep down he did care for us, but
I
I'm
hope you're
shocked
kidding.
all these years later to learn that in fact he hates us and doesn't even think
Right.
about the American people at all.
We never, because we don't broadcast on Sundays, we never got to talk about his Mother's Day message. Did you see it?
I didn't. I no, tell me about it because I literally missed that.
I
Sleep for an
have,
extra 10 minutes in this news cycle, and you miss major breaking news.
yeah, I assume he posted it to Truth Social. I have to go find it. Here it is. Is this it? Or is this from a, no, this is a different one. I grabbed a
A different
screenshot, but
one.
it's on my phone. I shouldn't have asked, but it was like, I'll paraphrase it, that it was like, Happy Mother's Day to the mothers, and especially those of the, I can't even imitate his like, of the radical left monsters. And it was all about like how we need to calm them and teach them to be better, good, because we're mothers, we're going to be able to like tame all of the socialist radical left.
Mm.
I wish, hold on, maybe this is the link. Nope. This says Mother's Day. Mother's Day post includes himself, but not Melania. That's funny.
That is funny. Or,
He did a
any
bunch of
mention of
them.
any of the mothers of any of his children.
Oh
I
wait, I
can't
think
keep track.
I think People Magazine might. Oh my God, he made a lot of Mother's Day posts. So my question, yeah, and I'm not even seeing the one that I want to read to you. I'll have to find it and repost it because it was ugly and it was just very like women are the ones who will calm and fix the radical left monsters. And I was like, sir, no,
Sir,
you
please
stop.
kindly do shut up, Portia. Would you?
I know. Um, oh
Do you
wait, I
remember
did
that
put.
quote from A Fish Called
Oh
Wanda?
yeah,
Please
from
do
A Fish
shut up,
Called
Portia.
Wanda. Oh yeah, I know exactly what you're quoting. Come on. Come on. Am I an amateur here? No. Wait, I'm going to be able to read it to you in just a moment. Here it is. Happy Mother's Day to all, in particular the mothers, wives, and lovers of the radical left fascists, Marxists, and communists who are doing everything within their power to destroy and obliterate our once great country. Please make these complete capital lunatics and maniacs, these are all caps, kinder, gentler, softer, and most importantly, smarter, so that we can quickly, all caps, make America great again.
Wow. Yeah,
I'm
there
here
you
to make
go.
you men softer.
It took him a decade, but he finally cracked the code. The thing to make America great again is only that every mother in the country needs to do a better job of mothering.
The radical
Great.
left,
There you go.
softening
I'm
them.
sure that's going to go over quite well.
Yeah, we got to make them smarter. We
mm,
women, most
mm.
importantly. It was probably an effective message with a lot of women, which is
Oh my
dismaying.
goodness. I can't even begin to imagine. Uh,
No, but you know
but
what? I
you
am
know,
excited. But
we've got two amazing guests today. We should
we do.
bring them on screen because I am incredibly excited to have this conversation. I know you are too. Would
I
you like
know.
to do the honors of the intro?
Yes, we have got Laura LeBleu and Paul von Gieser from Gieser magazine. Welcome to the Daily Whatever Show.
Good
I
morning.
lost audio. Why is it always me who loses audio? Can you guys hear me?
I don't
I'm
know.
gonna
I can
drop.
hear you.
I'll be right back.
I can hear you, but
Laura,
I can hear you.
It's here's the deal, Paul and Laura. StreamYard plays this trick on us that whenever we switch mode, whenever a guest comes on or leaves or whatever,
Oh.
Dana, for some crazy reason, loses her ability to hear, particularly me. So, she will be back in just one moment. This has become a feature of our show
oh
and
my
not
God.
a bug
So
at
this
this
is
point.
just the
People
dance
just
we do.
expect it. Welcome back.
thank you. Yeah, this is another really fun feature that we cannot figure out on StreamYard, which is, and it's not consistent. If it were consistent, I'd be like, I need to fix something. But it's like, what is 30 to 50% of the time, maybe, Lawrence?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's me. And it always happens when new people join.
Wow.
Or when we first go from backstage to live. Anyhow, welcome to the Daily Whatever Show.
Yay.
One
morning.
day, yeah, we're gonna have the interns fix this.
Your interns and
Sound
our
great. So yeah, it's all good.
Right. What did I miss while I popped off screen?
The Strait of Hormuz closed again. Yeah, I'm sorry to tell you that. But Paul and Laura, tell us about Geezer. So for the crowd, we've got a really lively chat. They're super engaged. We'd love for you to introduce yourselves to the crowd and let them know about Geezer magazine and the two of you.
Sure. I'll jump in because I'm already one latte in and I just made a second one. So
Excellent.
so Geezer Magazine is a print magazine just for Gen X. At some point, I actually, in the shower about a year and I don't know, a few months ago, I realized that we needed to do something about this terrible world of ours and our barrage of digital content that we're just, drowning in. And I thought the best way to go about that would be to actually to create something analog for our generation. And that's where that's like part of the Geezer Genesis story right there. I have you have number one. This is issue number two. I don't know if you've seen.
Oh my God, what a magnificent cover.
I have not yet. Oh, I have not. In ancient times, they had to stand to play video games. Oh my God. I
You guys are
love
gonna
it.
love this one.
Yeah, I definitely have to get this in your hands, you guys. But yeah, so it's 11 by 15. It is about 2 pounds. It's a chonker, and
Yeah, this too. This is like,
yeah,
you can't miss this.
yeah.
It looks like you
It's
specifically
designed-
were like, I want the old interview magazine, like that giant oversized magazine that stood out on the magazine racks every month. Was that part of the idea?
Cannot not look at it. It demands, unlike our generation, it demands attention.
Yes.
Paul, I started. Do you want to jump in?
Yeah. So as Laura said, this Geezer magazine is a print-only, very large magazine that explores the Gen X aging experience, and we decided to specifically target Gen X because we're both Gen X. Like, I'm older Gen X. I was born in 1966, which makes me 59 at the moment, and Laura a few years behind me. But there's a lot going on. Like, I'm sure you guys have seen, the New York Times even paid attention. So when the New York Times feature sections start writing about stuff, it has arrived as a cultural phenomenon. So, they basically, I think different articles recently, and not just the Times, but wrote sort of like why is Gen X struggling so much? And then the Wall Street Journal had a piece about Gen X, and it's from a financial sort of IRA, how little money we all have to live on after we supposedly stop working, which of course, in my case, I don't think that's going to ever happen. So we thought there was a lot out there, and the only thing that sort of was addressing, in air quotes, addressing any of these subjects was, God forbid, AARP. And Laura and I had the same kind of reaction that we didn't realize we each had when we got that little card in the mail. I don't know. You turn 50 and you start getting AARP, and you're like, "Fuck this!" No,
Oh, yeah.
you're like,
Right.
no way! Like, how
I set
insulting!
mine on fire. I literally was like, I felt very stabby, and then I got a little pyro on it.
And
No, this is not
Nice.
so
You literally lit it on fire. I love it.
yeah, but like, so because AARP does some good things, like the senior discounts are apparently pretty good, but
It's
the
10%.
tote bag.
We have too much pride to go take advantage of them, though, right?
Well, I don't know if it's a free
I
meal,
mean-
Dana. Like, count me in. But
Inflation.
yeah, we just wanted to make something that reflected our values and not kind of the values of not only our parents but our grandparents, and so
Yeah, like
that,
my mom loves AARP. She thinks
Yeah.
it is the bee's knees. Of course, my mom is 85 years old, so there's a huge disconnect, and there was a void. No one, they can't have the kind of conversations that we have. Ours are really like, I like to say, we don't keep the dirty side down. We want to get in there. We want to get messy. We want to talk about what the hell is going on with us today. It's such a weird, no one warned us how weird middle age would be. I think, like in the back of my brain, I thought, oh, you get there, you got stuff figured out. Things are pretty much set. And all of a sudden it's just like, especially in this day and age, but I know it's like, wow, perimenopause, hormones, economy, politics. I just feel like we need a place where we can stop and slow down and process what's coming at us. And Geezer is a great way to do that.
What's amazing is Dana and I are basically doing the same thing through the Daily Whatever show. Ours is just a podcast instead of a magazine.
Yeah.
And we really did it because we wanted to kind of invite everyone into our 47-year friendship and have a place where we could talk about our writing. But it has turned into politics and generational politics and everything because that's the world we're living in at the moment.
Yeah. You can't not address it.
Right.
We
As
can't.
much as we would like to, and I think sometimes it's healthy to, bury your head in the sand a little bit because there's so much that's out of our control. But you can't get away from it. It's this ambient anxiety that we're all swimming through. And so, yeah.
Sorry, Laura. I think that's part of the appeal too. Is we were both, Laura and I are, like actively looking for ways to not look at a digital screen, and I found myself like opening my bank statements, just wanting to read print, and like there's got to be something better than my bank statement. So, and by reading a paper magazine, especially one that's huge, especially one that, like we were really proud of this one because there's just so much that appeals to artists, it appeals to, people who want sort of hard facts, it appeals to people who want strong opinions, who want strong opinions weekly held, and so on and so forth. But, sit down with a coffee or a glass of wine or a whiskey in my case and just sort of read print. That was, and it's still something we both want.
Can we, just before we go any further, we're getting lots of questions in the chat, and our buddy Yanni is doing a great job of saying, to subscribe to the print mag, go to geezermagazine.com. Is that the correct information? Is there anything else you want to plug about how to get your hands on one?
That is correct. Best way to do it, go to geezermagazine.com. And for you guys, we have a little discount. So you can use you can use the code FRIEND15 and get 15% off of your annual subscription. So there you go. You guys go get it. And honestly, I'm going to be totally like, we need subscribers. We need support. This is not funded by any, there's like venture capital backed. This is really just, this is us. And
the lady talking right now is the funder.
I am the funder. So my background, if you're curious, and also
I was just going to ask that of like, this is audacious. Like, what is your background in publishing? Both of you, how do you know each other? Like, I need some like VHS behind the music.
All right. Well, we know each other because Paul and I met working in technology. But so that's where that connection was made. We're both writers in marketing department and within thought leadership for a massive, behemoth kind of Death
Are we
Star.
the same people, you guys?
I
Just
honestly,
are we the same people?
like us too? Which Death Star
Oh,
did you
we're gonna
work
have
for?
to on this.
Did it
Okay,
begin with
well,
an M or a G or an A or a...
ours this one has an S and an N in it also.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
Well, we can talk about it, but
Yeah,
um,
offline.
yeah,
We'll Death
yeah.
Star offline.
Okay.
My background, so I have a very eclectic career. I started in theater. I'm an actor. I got my theater degree, and I ended up in San Francisco doing crazy drag queen rock musicals, and I was a stilt walking ringmaster for a circus in the '90s. Like because it was the '90s. That's what you did, right?
Right, sure.
Right.
And then I worked in television, and that's where I really started honing my writing chops. Went into advertising, was a copywriter, creative director, then went into technology. Okay, so that's like the super shorthand. Then that's when Paul and I met, and I've combined my kind of creative, more cuckoo juju forces with Paul's, who he has a history as a journalist. So take it away, Paul.
Yeah, so like she said, my background. Oop, hold on. What happened?
Uh-oh. Did the
I'm getting
gremlin?
now I'm
Get
getting
the intern on this.
I know. Bruce, intern. His name is Bruce, right?
Right. Of course it is. Bring back Bruce. I feel like there's no one under
No, but
58 named Bruce.
so, I don't know.
The next generation of kids, Bruce will be in the running.
gosh,
Bruce's and the Nancy's.
hold on. Okay, there we go. How's that?
Yeah.
Does that work?
You didn't
Okay.
go away or anything for us, so
No,
you're all good.
here.
Sorry, I actually clicked on our show on the Substack, and I think it got the reverb. So anyway, this goes to show that this shows why I'm no longer working in tech, whereas Laura still is. And my background is really as a journalist. I spent 11 years at the New York Times as an investigative reporter, as a guy covering the war in Iraq, as the Connecticut bureau chief, which should date me a little bit because there's no Connecticut bureau. There's no bureau anywhere around New York City anymore for the Times. So I'm like an old newspaper guy who I left the paper and like in the early 2000 teens because it didn't feel like the news cycle became so relentless. I see the cat has left your lap, Lawrence. And so Laura brings a major design element. I mean, probably like 100% of the design element that you see in Geezer. And I try to bring a sort of a reporting, not quite hard news, because I don't think we're hard news. Like we're not covering the stories of the day, but we are covering stories of the year or of the generation. Like there is one piece, for example, in this latest issue called The HRT of Darkness, which is one of Laura's best headlines ever.
That is a fabulous headline.
Yeah, and it's just an example. I'll just mention it briefly and we can move on. But it was, if you remember the Women's Health Initiative from the early aughts that like majorly fucked up hormone replacement therapy, HRT, for a generation of women. And because the scientists got the science wrong, mostly male scientists got the science wrong, and so we wrote a kind of like a deconstruct of how that actually happened, like in the room, blow by blow, sort of a TikTok as we call it in journalism. So that was done by one of our writers, but Laura and I each spent a lot of time just making sure that we nailed that story, and that's kind of an example of the cultural issues that Geezer covers.
Yeah, it's so much fun. I'm a magazine person. I've always loved magazines, and I love nonfiction narrative or creative nonfiction, however you want to say it. And so
we are the same person.
Oh my God,
I don't want to freak you out, but I think I've fallen in love with both of you just a little bit. So tell me about the font in the magazine. I'm so dying to know. I'm kidding, but not kidding. I am that kind of nerd.
Oh yeah. So obviously, and I can't remember the name of our font right now, but it's designed for readability, clearly, because you've
Yeah,
seen me take off
nice.
on my glasses many different times. I had a friend of mine who designed our logo. That's a bespoke logo. Our paperweight is 80 pounds Sistana, and it is Forest Council certified. So yeah, we get.
Seriously, I think I might cry. You are so speaking my language right now. I might burst into tears.
Lawrence, I want
It's
to.
a,
We need
and
to
I
get.
opened the magazine and looked down just to see what page I was on. And the first, I missed this on my first read. The first thing I saw, Lawrence, Nick Cave. First two words. I have a
Nice.
big Nick Cave poster from the show I saw at the Fifth Avenue Theater in the late 90s, my favorite show
Wow.
of all time here
Oh
in
my
Seattle.
gosh,
He's my favorite.
love. So
Yeah.
yeah, so this is Geezer, and this, like we were saying, this is self-funded because I did come up in technology. I when I turned 50, I did kind of deconstruct my life. I really ripped
Yeah.
it down to the studs
Yeah.
and have been working to rebuild it back in a way that suits me, and not everyone else, which
Yep.
is, I think, a fairly common story for a woman in her 50s. Um, and part of it was having spent a lifetime writing for other people, really, and being a creative who had to basically kind of subjugate my creativity and harness it in service of paying the bills and doing all those things. I was lucky enough to get to a place where I could sell some stock, and I invested it in this. I made a
Amazing.
magazine. Like, I need
Amazing.
to make
Oh,
something, and I need to make something. The theater I love, and I still do theater. In fact, I'm in a show tonight, but theater is
amazing.
it's I love it. I mean, I'm a you can see I'm kind of a jazz handsy girl, but I needed something that I could hold that wasn't just ephemeral, that wouldn't just go away. And I feel like this is something, like, this is it. This is my explosion of middle age creativity,
Yep.
and it's been huge. It's so important to me, and when I hear that people love it, I cannot tell you, like, that makes me want to cry, because this
Yeah.
is the first time, and obviously in partnership with Paul, that I've really been able to connect with people through something that's very close to my heart and my creativity. So it's heartfelt.
No, it's clearly a labor of love. It's beautiful. And I still work in tech. I think I may be the
I
final
do
of the
too.
four of us
I
still
got my
might
Sorry to
be
hear that.
Right.
barely holding on. It's
oh
good
yeah,
for now. It's keeping the wheels on the proverbial bus.
yep.
But I hear like every ounce of what you're saying. And there's so many themes about Gen X that come up that recur on the show. Fun fact, this publication's original name was Gen XE. And it was modifying a certain flavor of Gen X, because we
Hmm.
knew that, like, Gen X won the election for Trump, right? Like,
Oh,
plenty of our fellow Gen Xers,
I
they
I love
suck.
Gen
But
X.
there is a flavor of Gen X, and we have pioneered in ways that,
Hmm.
at the risk of like patting our own backs too much, like no one ever did before us, and with little to no credit.
Right.
And that's the Gen X that we're fascinated with, that you are clearly also immersed in and you are publishing for.
yes,
And we are, by design, in a creative, like late midlife renaissance, creative and professional, um, explosion of ideas. And we're at that point where we're like, it's now or never. So we're
exactly.
doing it.
If
And
not now,
if not now, when? Here's a question with Geezer. I find I have a few thoughts on all the stories that you see online about Gen X now, but one universal thing is a lot of it tends to get steeped in nostalgia. Don't you remember Madonna? We had the best
Right.
music in the
Didn't you
80s.
drink from a hose?
Didn't you drink from? I never drank from a hose, to my memory, even though I
Right.
had
I
a very
did.
80s. Yeah,
no,
but how
it,
do you balance between the then and now when you are doing your editorial planning for Geezer?
oh, that's such a great question. Paul, do you want to start with that one?
Yeah, so it is a good question.
Yeah,
We
very good.
actively, almost literally talk about, how much nostalgia versus how much non-nostalgia to go with, because I think in the first issue, so we've published 2 magazines so far. The first issue, we put together, and the way I think Laura's described it is, we got a barn, we got some wood, there's some rope, somebody's got some fairy wings. Let's have a circus. And that's kind of how the first issue came together, and we got some feedback, interestingly, from a guy named Hutch. If you're an older Gen X or early or late boomer, I guess, or whatever you call it, you get the reference. But he was like,
My thought went Hutch Harris, but I think that's Gen X
I thought
millennial. If you're a fan of
Starsky and Hutch. Starsky and Hutch was this show from like the late
yeah, of course
70s.
I remember Starsky and Hutch.
Paul Michael
I went
Glazer
Hutch
and
Harris of the Thermals. Sorry, Pacific
David
Northwest
Stoll.
Band.
And, we got some feedback from a dude named Hutch who's like, you know what? If you guys keep this up, I'm canceling. I'm canceling my subscription. I thought this was going to be nostalgia. And it was a lot of things, including some. But so we were like, okay, what do you want to see, man? So he told us, and he got into it. And then Laura can take it from there.
Artsy. Sorry, I have to say he was like, this is too artsy fartsy, and I'm like,
oh
yeah,
boy,
Hutch actually used that word on us.
He did.
So we turned, issue 2 took that into account. We didn't go into complete nostalgia, because I think that's a little bit of a cul-de-sac and, a limited reserve. But we do touch on it. I mean, we have a story about, what's it called? The heavy metal parking lot.
Heavy metal parking lot, baby. Do you guys know that film?
Yep. Heavy Metal, the animated one that had open arms in it.
That's what I thought too. But
so Heavy Metal Parking Lot is this movie. Oh my God, it's 16 minutes of absolute insanity. These guys back in the day, in 1986, went to a parking lot before a Judas Priest concert with their camcorders, and they just recorded these kids just partying their asses off in the parking lot.
Oh my God, I do remember that.
16 minutes of just watching, actively watching their cells fry.
Yes.
And we were all those kids, right? So Jack Boulware, who's this fantastic writer from San Francisco, he founded Litquake. He knew the filmmakers, and so we asked him to go back and do a 40th anniversary look at Heavy Metal Parking Lot. So that's something we did. I was like, Hutch, baby, this is for you. Like, but here we are.
Oh my God, yes.
Go watch it. Give yourself a 16-minute break. Thank you, Paul. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So, but like I said, such a great question. We really do. Paul and I have a deep and sometimes contentious discussions over how we're going to approach the editorial. And I'm super excited for issue number 3, which will be coming out in July. Yeah, we have one piece in the works that's a bit of reportage, more nonfiction narrative, and it's looking at sibling dynamics in middle age.
Oh,
I think is fascinating. I think we don't talk about the impact of our siblings on us as much as we should, and also how it shows up in midlife when you're dealing with maybe older parents. And so that's one thing we're doing. We're gonna have a lot of sex. I went to
in the magazine.
In the magazine. I mean, and hopefully elsewhere.
I mean, we'll do anything for money, but it'll be in the magazine.
Right. Yeah. No, me too. That's my OnlyFans. That's a completely different project.
So, I went to a 50+ play party as a reporter to
sure, Laura.
I was purely for the craft.
Did you wear your press badge?
A press badge on her hat. Yeah. It was
right.
Yeah, I wore a little fedora too, exactly. But to kind of start to delve into the different flavors of midlife sexuality, and so we have Jamie Waxman, who's she's a doctor of sexology or something, so she's writing for us. So we're just and then I'm like, tomorrow I'm flying down to LA to go hang out with Steve Alba, also known as Salba, who is a skateboard Hall of Famer, one of the famous dog boys, the guy, one of those guys, Dogtown skaters. I'm going to go hang out with him and a whole bunch of dudes skating in a pool. So that's the kind of eclectic sort of storytelling that we love to do. Hello, kitty. Tycho.
So, I don't know if I've said this yet, but the way that we describe Geezer to people when they ask is, you remember Interview magazine?
Absolutely. It was the literal first thing.
Interview magazine, large format. And you remember, McSweeney's, Dave Eggers magazine?
Of course.
Love
sort of like
McSweeney's.
humor. I think he calls his, this McSweeney's internet tendency. And then of course Mad magazine with its fake corporate ads,
Yeah.
So the way I describe it is if Interview and McSweeney's and Mad magazine had sex in the basement as a threesome, the bastard child of that tryst would be Geezer, because it has DNA from all three, I think.
Yeah.
And
Look, Paul, look, you already had me, man. Okay, you guys had me from the very beginning. You didn't need to be so salacious and seductive.
Right.
I got it.
It's not fair. We don't stand a chance
Right. I don't
against
stand
this.
a chance against this. I'm weak against all. I have no defenses.
There is a good question from the chat, a good practical question. Jason asked, if someone gets a subscription now, do they still get the first issue?
No, if you get the subscription now, you will get the second. It will start with issue number 2. But we do have issue number 1 for sale as a single now.
Okay.
So if you want to add that on, you can, and you can still use that Friend 15 discount code, and you'll get a 15% discount off of whatever you order.
Amazing.
Okay.
So, Paul, I feel like, we kind of heard Laura's self-reinvention story. Like, I'm sure you must have an angle on this as well, and kind of how Geezer has sort of fed into, nurturing your midlife renaissance, whatever you want to call it, right? Dana and I just kind of have a theory now that most Gen X-y people are late bloomer, like midlife renaissance people.
We were this, and then we were that, and we majored in, I was a speech pathology major, and that was my first career.
I studied acupuncture and Chinese herbal medicine, right? And then I worked in tech for 25 years, and now I'm, doing all kinds of crazy, weird shit. So what's your story, man?
Okay, well, I'm going to keep it short, and you can ask me whatever you want. I'm an open book about this. But the short story is that, like I said, I went from being a journalist, and I left the Times voluntarily, I might add, to run a company, a social enterprise that took people overseas for ass-kicking adventures that would include a volunteer project. So we ended up building a lot of playgrounds for kids in places like Vietnam and Peru, and then I had a kid, and I had to actually get a real job because it wasn't paying the bills enough. And here's the short part of the story is that I sort of turned to tech also. Like Laura said, we met in a marketing team for a giant tech company, and I spent a couple of years in that team, and then I got an offer to be the head of content for a venture firm that recruited me. And then after about 18 months, as venture firms are wont to do, they were like, we're done. Like, we don't need you. You're like, thank you and goodbye. Right. And I'm like, okay, well, that kind of sucks, but I'll just move on to the next thing. And that was roughly 3 years ago. And I thought, okay, I'll just, I have some runway. I'll just find a better fit. And no better fit was like, there was no job forthcoming. There was a few interviews, no offers, nothing. And I'm going to say this, it's going to sound...
we really are all the same person.
Yeah, we get it.
There's just a mirror going on. It's like reflective of... Yeah. And so, I have a fairly blue chip professional resume. I have a Fulbright scholarship. I went to Columbia Journalism School, blah, blah, blah. And but because I believe, this is what I learned, is there's a certain, once you cross the 55-year-old threshold in tech, you're playing fire. Like, do not leave your job, because the next company are like, no, thanks, pal. We'll just go with the 38-year-old who worked at...
Or the 28-year-old.
Do you see the expired on my Botoxed forehead? Because
mean,
that's how I feel every day at work, where I'm like, don't look too closely, you guys.
Yeah.
like literally same. People who've been
100%.
listening to the show for a while know I stopped tracking job applications after 650.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
You went further than I did.
Yeah, and
That's why
like
we're
ageism plus AI, like, oh, you know what? Actually, we do have a job. Oh, you know what? We just reorged and we're actually using AI and a bunch of interns to
Yeah.
do what we were going to hire you to do.
Yeah, I was really reluctant to use the A word, ageism, on me, because I'm just like, nah, dude, like, don't go on a crutch. Just like figure it out and like pound your way through it. And whenever I've done that, it's always worked. But I could not work my way out of this issue. And then I had a friend of mine say, Paul, what you're telling me is what I'm hearing from 5 or 6 of my friends right now too. Like, everyone's starting their own thing because they cannot find a fucking job in the industry that they've been in for 20 years or 15 years or 10. And so lots of things are going on, but
Do you
so,
remember? Oh, sorry. I'm going to jump in because I don't want
Yeah.
my HRT brain will go woo, and I'll forget it. The New York Times story that came out right around when we launched a little over a year ago.
Quote.
Yep.
It was talking about Gen X in the workplace,
Mhm.
and it was like it was like your candlestick makers in a.
Right.
Yes.
I'm forgetting the exact quote.
Electricity.
Yes, it's like your candlestick makers in the era of electricity. And Lawrence and I, part of the reason we launched Gen Xy was we were so livid
furious.
at Gen X being presented. And to be clear, I know Gen Xers who are like this, who are like, I did this job for 20 years. Why can't I keep doing it? And you're like, dude, your job's obsolete. But
Mhm.
the Gen Xy ones, the ones like us, like, we are the ones who know how to adapt and figure out new tools and new ways of work more than anyone, because we've had to reinvent and reinvent and reinvent. But also, we're tired.
Right.
And it's so great that there are tools and ways now of being like, let's see if I can both make my dreams come true and do the work I've always wanted to do, because Substack didn't exist. Independent publishing didn't exist when we were coming of
No.
age. If you wanted to work for a magazine, you had to go to Conte Nast and try to get a job at a magazine. I love seeing that you've birthed this. I think it's a fight to anytime someone writes about Gen X, it's maddening, because we're like, I am iconoclastic. This doesn't speak to me because, Gen X is not a monolith. But that story in particular did so much harm in the workplace.
Mm.
Like, great. Now everyone, in addition to looking at me being like, oh, she looks like my mom, is looking at me thinking I'm a candlestick at an electric factory, like a place making electricity. Thanks, New York Times.
Right.
They've written about menopause and how menopausal women can't fit in at work in a really unflattering way without mentioning HRT.
Mhm.
Did you see the story about how Gen X women are having the best sex?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's a
I
lot
wrote
of
a rebuttal to that one that I just put in the chat, that I was
Oh.
like, cool. So if we just want to go out and have like meaningless sex with, anyone who's willing, we can have lots of sex. But what a concept. Like, that's new. Because it was just one woman's point of view, right? It wasn't like somebody. Sorry,
Yeah.
I have a thing about when people like try to write about Gen X in a monolith way, when it's like, that's a sample pool of like 4 people's opinions.
Right. That's
Mhm.
one person and
That's
her
very
friends.
Gen X response, right, Dana?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, no one puts us in the corner, and like,
Yeah, right. Nobody puts baby in the corner. So I love that. Like, I look at first of all, I had this on my table here, and the guy I'm dating came over and was instantly like, honed right in and was like, what is that? And I'm like, this is Geezer Magazine. This is so, like, I don't know if you all can see the bands that are listed on all the cassettes. They are almost universally brilliant, but Lawrence, what am I going to say that I have a chip on my shoulder about?
Which one?
You don't have the magazine, so you don't know. One of them is Blood,
Okay,
Sugar,
I'm
Sex,
ordering it
Magic.
right now.
Yeah. Oh, here. I have in my bio how much I hate the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Like, the white hot passion of 1,000 suns. So,
What did
but
they
I-
have to do to you, Dana?
Yeah, I
They
got to hear
sucked
this.
and ruined my music listening for 30 years. I hate
Wow.
them. Yeah, I have very strong opinion. But I got to get it. Oh, I just want to. It makes me want to pull out my
What,
eyes and stick them in my ears so I don't have to
Dana, what
listen.
about
But
Jane's Addiction?
love,
Love.
Adore.
Oh, okay.
I think
love.
So
Jane's
let
Addiction
me
is the
guess.
most.
You're a Smiths gal, not a, or are you both Smiths and what's Robert? What's his name? The Cure.
Oh,
Are you
Smith
Cure
Seven
and
Cure.
Smith? You're both. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
And don't make me pick, although I would pick The Cure because Robert Smith and The Cure are still wonderful human beings.
Mm.
But
Right.
I mean, both of them. I think people who like one tend to like the other. They hate each other, but people who are fans of one.
One of the best concerts I ever went to was not the Smiths or the Cure, but it was in New York, and it was like an open mic night where it was Smiths versus the Cure, and there was this house band, and people
Oh,
could sign up to come in and sing a song from either band. And so
Oh,
the musicians would just play whatever the person said they were going to sing. And then at the end, the audience had to vote, and the Smiths won by like 5 claps over the, like
oh my God.
over the Cure. But that was
Wow.
fantastic.
That's dreamy. The Smiths musically are really hard to cover, I have been told. I'm not a musician, but I ran a music website and like put on events here in Seattle in the aughts. And there were always a ton of, tribute bands, fundraisers where it would be like all the local bands covering songs by the X, whichever band. And rarely did people tackle the Smiths. And I was told it's too hard, that they're really hard to play.
Yeah, they were
So
tough.
Johnny Marr is hard to beat, but
Johnny Marr.
that night would be like that would be a dream to be able to
Yeah.
be there. Who did
Yeah.
you think was better, or what was the best song you heard covered?
I mean, gosh, put me on the spot. It was a song by the Smiths, and of course Morrissey was the singer for the Smiths, not there, but it was one of his like low ballads. Basically, it was something like "Please Kill Me Now," like
Is it
life.
please let me get what I want?
I think it was that one, to be honest.
Good
Yeah.
times for change.
Oh, there's a lady who knows her Smiths. Yeah.
Dana is
Yeah.
somewhat encyclopedic when it comes to the music of our lives. Trust me.
Yeah.
I wish I
I've known
could
her
do
for
something.
47 years.
you guys, one of the people that we cover that I was
But
able
don't
to
tell her that she's gonna turn off the camera or turn off our mic if you tell her what you're gonna tell her now.
Did you
But go
talk to
ahead.
Anthony Kiedis?
No,
Okay.
no, and I'm not. No. We're talking about issue number 2. I
Oh.
got to chat with Jason Narducci,
Oh yeah.
who just went on the road with Michael Shannon to do cover. They toured. They did all of REM's
Life Search Pageant. Yeah, I went. I was there.
He was the nicest guy, and we actually excerpt some of his book in issue number 2. And here's what's fascinating about him, and this is the kind of story that I love. It's that he started his first band when he was 10 years old, and has been in the music industry his entire life. For the last 20 years, only until about a few years ago, he had a house painting business in Evanston, Illinois, because that's how he had to pay the bills.
Yeah.
So and I find that, this is such a real look into what the reality is behind sustaining a creative life. And so here he is, like going off and playing with Bob Mould and then coming back and painting houses.
I know a lot of musicians in Seattle who are also craftspeople like that because you can put it on hold, go tour, come back. There's always someone who needs someone to tile their bathroom or paint their home. But this is, as you're talking, I'm like, I know a lot of people who are younger than I am, obviously, being out in the world professionally. And then my children are young Gen Zers, they're late teens.
Wow.
And so I know the span of age groups, and I'm like, I feel like this is a very Gen X attribute, and it's one that I'm coming up against right now, which is take care of your bottom line first. Like there was that whole saying about like, do what you love, and every day it's not work. I'm paraphrasing it.
Right.
But for so many of us, I think for so many of us, it was like, do what you need to do to pay all of your bills and also do what you love if you
Yeah.
want to keep doing what you love.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's very, in late stage capitalism, to me, it's very pragmatic because I have always lacked the courage or maybe the know-how to be like, I'm going to just take a flying leap into what I love, right? Like I ran 3 Imaginary Girls with my best friend Liz back in the day, and also was a vendor at Microsoft the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like I was going to shows 6 nights a week and writing about them and also waking up to go to work. And that was before I had kids. And once I had kids in the equation, it was like something has to give. And of course it was the passion project.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But I love that he is, because I assume he's not painting houses now that he's on the road with Michael
No,
Shannon.
he was able to sunset the business a few years ago. He finally got to that place, I think. But it was just, you know, as I spoke with him about it, I thought it was amazing
Oh
and
my
just
God.
so representative of, yeah, you know, again,
Yeah,
we live in America. We are.
we do. There is no
Welcome
safety
to late
net.
stage
Oh
capitalism.
man, no safety net. I remember having a knockdown drag out fight with my brother when I was, I don't know, sometime in my 20s, where you know, his take was that theater shouldn't be supported. It should only be you know, unless it makes money, it doesn't
Right.
matter, basically.
Are our brothers the same people too?
Right.
Carry
Oh,
on, Carrie.
Dana, we're going to have to connect after this, I think. We might be
Yes.
together like a parallel autobiography.
Oh my God.
But yeah, he's, you know, he's a very different person than I am. And that was his, and I'm like, no, you go to any other, go to England and see, like, there is investment in art. There is appreciation for creativity and how that makes our life worth living. Otherwise, we're just, you know, we already are cogs in the, you know, post-industrial machine. But what makes it bearable is the joy that art brings us. And so, yeah, I'll never forget. Of course, I ended up in tears because that's generally the way my brother would. He's a good arguer, and I'm not.
Right. Someone,
Yeah.
Courtney in the chat is saying, I need the siblings.
Sibling
Courtney,
dynamics.
yes, Courtney in the chat just said, I need the siblings article. Had one brother go down a Joe Rogan rabbit hole for a spell. This is so interesting because Lawrence and I both are also have been talking a lot lately offline about sibling shit. Are you guys oldest kids or youngest kids?
I'm the
I'm
youngest.
oldest. Yeah, Lori's youngest.
Oldest.
I'm oldest. Yeah.
I'm
Oldest
Yeah.
of 2.
Hmm.
I
Okay.
can't believe we're at this point because I literally feel like we could talk to the 2 of you for another 20 hours nonstop. We've only got like 10 minutes left, and we have a big question we always ask first-time guests that. But before we get there, tell us what's next for Geezer. So you just
Yes.
released issue number 2. You're obviously actively working on issue number 3. What does the roadmap look like for the next, 6, 12, 24 months? Where are you at? How are you feeling about it so far?
Lori, you take that one.
Jump in. Sure. Well, we're at a place where we have. Do you want? I'll give you guys numbers, like straight up numbers. Like we're not sustainable yet.
Yep.
We have 400, about 400 subscribers, which is actually.
401.
Yay, thank you.
I've heard at least 3 folks in the chat say subscribe. So
I think you got at least
Yay.
3 or 4 out of us today.
So happy.
Thank you.
We need to get to about 1,000-ish to be just kind of like sustainable, and that's not what's being paid. So we're really driving toward that. We're going to have to get issue number 3 out and then just take a really good look. I'm committed. I mean, I don't want to see this go away, and I really want to make this work. A couple of other things. So yeah, that's the first one. Like, please tell your friends.
Yeah.
We don't have a budget for a big marketing push. Again, we don't have advertisers. You won't be advertised to in this magazine. I would love to get an advertiser or 2.
We're trying to get Geritol on board, but we're in negotiations right now.
Like you will not find some shitty, no pun intended, Depends ad in Geezer. We are.
God, that would so kill the vibe. But
Right.
also,
Oh my God.
Exactly.
you all know that you are like prime. Like you should be able to get really good advertisers. I mean,
Well, they
Yeah.
still don't know how to market to us. We have Gen X is in our peak spending age right now, and so
I
we have,
mean,
but there's still, they no one's cracked the code on how the hell to get through to us, and I kind of appreciate that. Part of me is like, yeah, suckers.
Right. We are
Although I really would
inscrutable.
like to
God
have
damn
some
it.
cool advertisers. Another thing is we do have a Substack. So one thing we've talked about, and I was pretty recalcitrant at first, but because I wanted just to be print only, but we have to have a place where people can come, connect, have conversations, and so we're building our Substack. So please go to Geezer Magazine at Substack and join us. You can obviously get your free subscription, but if you do an annual or a founding subscription via Substack, you will also get the print magazine.
Oh, wow.
So
And just to be
cool.
clear, the Substack's not just the magazine online. It's not. We're keeping the magazine print only is,
Correct.
like paper, but we will, there's conversations when an issue's come out, we'll sometimes put one of the stories from it onto Substack, sort of months after the fact, but print only subscribers are exclusively getting stuff that isn't anywhere else.
Yeah, absolutely. We're not
my
just
marketing brain. Oh, sorry.
Oh, please, Dana, your marketing. Tell me.
Just my marketing brain is like, there's so many ways you can be using one to cross-pollinate the other. And,
Well, that's the
you
thing
two
is-
are the best representation of your magazine. Like, people getting to know you will make people want to.
One hopes. We're getting to know Laura. They'll subscribe to Laura and they'll like unsubscribe from me, which is fine. Like,
Paul
I
has
don't know,
been
Paul.
away.
If you put your hair tips in there, I'm all in. Like I'm looking at your head of hair and wondering, he's older than me and he has all that hair.
yeah. Well, you got to subscribe for that, Lawrence. That's not
all
free.
right. Well, done. All right.
Totally fair. Well, I'm going to hold it up one more time so you all can see how beautiful, absolutely beautiful this magazine is. Just cover that part with the Red Hot Chili Peppers and it's perfect. And on the back too. Amusingly, when you sent this to me, Laura, I had spent the day at one of my favorite cafes here in North Seattle. It's called Chocolati. It's a chocolatier coffee place, and the mochas are to die for. But they had this beautiful sunlit window, and I wrote an essay that I have since published. Actually, it's called All Gen X Dating is Grief. It would be great in Geezer. We should talk.
I actually I read that and it was wonderful, Dana.
Thank you.
A lot of truth to that.
Yes, and as I wrote it, the very young barista played XTC for like an hour and a half. Like I haven't heard so much XTC in a row. And I looked at after a while, I was like, "You're really into XTC?" And he's like, "Yeah, my parents were really big fans." And I'm like, "Raised you right." And then I got home, and this was here in XTC Oranges and Lemons is like front and center. Nice. And whenever things happen to me like that, where I haven't thought about XTC much lately, and then twice in a row, I'm like, to me, it's a little nudge from the universe that I'm on the right path. So thank you for that.
Oh,
Sure.
I love that.
They started playing Muse for like another hour, and that really stressed me out because I like Muse for like a song or two, but it's a lot. I know, but it's so earnest, and it's so like, to me, it's like an anxiety attack. I can't handle that much of it.
It's like living in the Trump regime as expressed in music. All right, you guys. So we have this question that we always ask people who are on the podcast for the first time. So you're both going to have to answer this question. It's very, very hard hitting. Dana, take it away.
Okay. Also, we're at 99 folks here, so someone has to join while we're here because we have to hit triple digits.
Gotta get 100.
We have to. Everyone hit the heart so more people find it. Here's the question. It's a very simple one. What is the most Gen X song of all time? What is a song that resonates, that speaks Gen X to you? And either of you can go first. And there are no wrong answers. And Jason Odell, new Geezer magazine subscriber, keeps an Apple and Spotify playlist of all the responses.
I have my answer. So, Laura, do you want to go or
No. No, this is going to be hard for me.
Okay.
It's Regret by New Order.
Yes.
Nice. Oh my God.
Do you know that song?
Excellent choice.
Of course, and I don't think anyone's ever picked that one.
No, brand new, appearing for the first time on the Gen XE Daily Whatever show
Yes.
playlist
I'm
Oh,
saying
and
in
our
this.
new order, courtesy of Paul. Okay.
Good. I'm glad. And I'm saying this as somebody who generally hates a lot of 80s music because I had to dance to it in college and it sucked. Not to
Jesus
that
Christ,
song,
Paul,
but to
are we the
like,
same person?
Depeche Mode,
you
you know,
hate the stuff you
all
had.
this, all this synth drum crap. I was
What?
more like, I came of age with Rush and,
Uh,
bands like that.
Both
And
on
then
the
to have to
side,
turn into
right?
that. But New Order, that song, whatever the band, I forgot, they were some other band and then they turned into New Order. But,
Joy Division. Joy
Joy Division.
Division. Come
Joy
on,
Division.
Paul.
Yeah, and I, like Joy Division, I can take or leave, but that song and that riff, especially the bass line, and the lyrics, which I think were utterly Gen X. So that's mine.
Amazing
100%.
choice. All right, Laura,
All
you're
right.
up.
So I have a couple. Okay, let me tell you what first came to my head, and then I'll tell you the thing that I think is like more widely So I am a Jane's Addiction, like that Jane's Addiction I love. I think they're such a Gen X band because they're such
Yes.
a hybrid. They were a little bit pre-grunge and they had like Bad
Yep.
Brains and they're an anomaly. And
Truly, they sound different.
they sound different than everything else. No one's ever been able to replicate them. Jane says would be the obvious one, but I'm kind of thinking of like Pigs and Zen.
I love it.
So
Nice.
that is, I don't know. It's just that there's something just so aggro about it, and
Yeah.
I feel like
It
we
is.
have our generation has an underlying angst that really came out
Yes.
in that music. For the kind of like wider, the if we want to go for more popular, I'd say Alive, by Pearl Jam. I'm Still Alive.
Yeah.
That's
I love that song.
people I think in Pearl Jam was so huge, and so of course they also got some pushback because no one likes everything that's popular. But 10
Right.
is perfect albums. It really is, I think, and I'll fight you on that. It's a great album, and Eddie Vedder's actually ended up being a stand-up dude. So
He's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I went to go see the Michael Shannon REM Life Bridge Pageant cover band night, which was fucking fantastic. They did the full record and then they played another like really long set, like 15 songs of other mostly obscure REM songs. It was fabulous. But I was like, Eddie Vedder's definitely going to get on stage. But he didn't. He wasn't there. But okay, you guys are going to be very jealous. I did see REM at a secret show. I did not know was happening at the Old Croc in Seattle, like 500 people at a rock show. I was right up at the front. And Eddie Vedder did get on stage that night and sing with Michael Stipe. But
oh my gosh, that must be
Wow.
that was in 2001. So it was.
oh my
It was,
god.
Yanni is catching it. He didn't catch the name of the Jane's Addiction song. Do you want to go with Jane Says, or do you want to go with Pigs and Zen?
No, let's go weird. Let's go Pigs and Zen.
Okay,
Nice.
it's Pigs and Zen, Yanni.
Yeah, let's just go. I want to have something that is on that playlist that just pops out and
It's
and,
weird.
like assaults you, and you go, "Whoa, I forgot about that song." This is
That-
I love
that
it.
is- right now, the playlist is so fucking
I'm sure
weird,
it must be
right? Like
crazy.
there's
It is.
Hall and Oates, and of course, Smells Like Teen Spirit, and then
Oh, yeah.
like you name it, everything like
Corey
Taylor
Hart.
Swift, anything you
Corey
could possibly think of.
Sunglasses at Night. I mean, total Gen X song. My weird Jane's Addiction song that I fucking love that I thought I was like, if she says this song, I'm gonna be like, that's it, we are melded, is Mountain Song. The start of cutting down the mountain. And so
Yeah.
dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
Oh, that's such
Yeah.
a good one. I remember being in the 90s and listening to the song and thinking like, oh my God, someday they're probably going to take this song and they're going to use it for a car commercial. And I'm
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
be
Sure.
so mad when they do that.
I don't think it's happened yet, but I don't watch a lot of TV, so it's entirely possible. Or like ski shop, like it'll be really literal, like someone's on a snowboard.
Exactly.
We'll all groan the same way. Can we have one moment before we leave that the fact that they turned Heathers the movie into a musical,
Oh,
does that make your Gen X heart want to die inside? Did you know, first of all, before
What's Heather's?
Heathers the movie that
Paul, we're not the same
is
person.
missing a vast. He's like missing a huge chunk of pop.
I don't know what the hell you guys are talking about.
Yeah. But I'm down with it, Dana. I'm actually here for Heather's musical because it is not bad.
I have not seen it. My kids love the music, so I know it. But I'm like, that is completely antithetical to the dark film of how, like, yeah.
Right. It's basically like the episode of The Simpsons where they turn Streetcar Named Desire into a musical, you know, and
Yes.
the final song is like, you can always
You can always
depend
depend
on
on
the
the
kindness of
kindness of
strangers.
We're all
It's like, wow.
That is
misread.
such a brilliant episode. Oh my God, I love that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it has been so fun
This
talking
is
with you
amazing,
all.
you guys. Thank you
Let's-
so much.
We've got to keep this conversation going because I feel like
When issue number 3 comes out, I would love
Yeah.
to come back. Let's talk
Please do.
about it. And I want to say thank you to every single person who is subscribed, who listened. Please go tell your friends, like preach the gospel of Geezer. I want us to create a tribe for us.
And sign up for the sex issue because Laura reports from a sex party in San Francisco
Oh
in
my
that
God.
issue.
True
Yeah.
story. I saw some things, y'all. I have seen some things.
Wow. Wow.
Okay.
Quick point. The Friends 15 discount code, really literally just for us? Do you care if people restack that code?
No, you can. I just kind of keep that as a like a little perennial, and just
Got it.
because if it's word of mouth and you hear us through the grapevine, I want you to know that you're part of. Like, come on in, get your
Got
15%.
it. Thank you.
Totally.
Cool.
Friend 15.
Yay.
Awesome. Thank you so much, you two. This was
Oh,
absolutely
thank
fantastic.
you.
Have a
Agree.
wonderful day, everybody. I have to do a quick shout out that tonight, my woo month with Oceana Teffenhart and our moderator Karen Marie Shelton. We call it Crone Cocktail Hour. We have it once a month for the new moon, setting intentions. That will be at 8 p.m. Eastern time tonight. So please come join us while we sip a beverage and talk about what's going on in the stars. Karen is amazing at astrology. I am not, but I have to say we've been doing this a few months, and everything I've set my mind on and set intent for, it's happened.
I love
So
it.
it's some powerful magic going on. So please come join us. And here's my brain. Where are things going? Oh, tomorrow is Fine Feminist Hour. So it is just me hosting the Daily Whatever Show, and Carlin Betcha will be joining me. And we've got a couple of very fascinating topics. One of which is going to be around women's health and aging. So it should be a good one.
For
All
sure.
right. Well, thanks, everyone. Thanks,
Bye,
everybody in the
everybody.
chat. Thanks
Have
to
a great
Karen and Stephanie
day.
for moderating. We love you. Mean it. Bye. Mwah.